Apple makes billions today, but billions are not the beginning of this story. In fact, the beginning had no money at all. It began in 1976, inside a small wooden garage in California, with two boys working on a dream the world couldn't see. Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak. Today, Apple earns more in 1 second than most people earn in a lifetime. But back then, they were just two young men with no team, no funding, and no proof their idea would survive even 1 year. Their first computer, the Apple I, earned around $775,000 in its first year. That's like selling 300 iPhones a day in today's value, or the price of 6 brand new Toyota Corollas every month. Then, Apple II came. Sales jumped from $7 million to $117 million. That is like going from a small bike to owning an entire showroom full of luxury cars in 1 year. But success didn't last. In 1984, Apple launched the Macintosh. Bold, emotional, revolutionary. But behind the scenes, it became one of Apple's worst early failures. Sales dropped. Pressure built. Arguments started. And then the impossible happened. In 1985, Steve Jobs was fired from the very company he created. And without him, Apple began to fall apart. The 1990s nearly killed the company. Products like the Newton, the Pippin console, and the Macintosh Portable lost millions. By 1996, Apple was months away from bankruptcy. And then, 1997 changed everything. Steve Jobs returned, and with him came the rebirth of Apple. He simplified the product line, introduced a new design philosophy, and launched devices like the iMac and the iPod. But the true explosion happened in 2007, the iPhone, the device that rewrote the world. Then came the iPad, then the Apple ecosystem, and suddenly, Apple wasn't just a company, it became the operating system of modern life. iCloud renewals, Apple Pay transactions, iPhone activations, App Store downloads, all happening every second, all generating money. And now, Apple earns an amount so massive, it can only be understood by breaking it down into time. Apple's annual revenue, $416 billion a year. That is more money than the GDP of Pakistan, Egypt, or Portugal. Enough to buy 416,000 houses worth $1 million each, or the price of every Lamborghini ever made twice. Apple's monthly revenue, $34.6 billion every month. What is $34.6 billion equal to? The price of 34,600 luxury flats worth $1 million each. The cost of building 7 airports the size of Dubai International. More than the yearly income of entire African nations combined. Apple's daily revenue, $1.14 billion every single day. Every 24 hours, Apple earns enough to buy 3 fully loaded Boeing 777 airplanes, the same as earning the price of 18,000 iPhone 15 Pro Max units every hour. More than what 90% of the world population earns in their entire lives. Apple's hourly revenue, $47.5 million per hour. To understand this, Apple earns the price of 50,000 Samsung A03 phones every hour. enough to buy 400 Rolls-Royce cars every 60 minutes. More money per hour than the average Pakistani earns in 600 years. Apple's minute-by-minute revenue, $790,000 per minute. In 60 seconds, Apple earns the price of an entire apartment building, the salary of 1,600 Pakistani workers for a whole year, enough to buy 7 brand-new Tesla cars every minute. Apple's every second revenue, over $13,000 per second. In the blink of an eye, Apple earns the price of a brand-new Honda Civic Oriole, more than the monthly salary of a senior engineer in the Gulf, enough to buy 13 new iPhones every second. This was a company that once had nothing, a company that once nearly died, a company whose founder was pushed out, whose products failed, and whose future was almost erased. Today, it earns more in 1 second than it earned in its entire first year. And when you understand this, you understand something powerful. Apple doesn't just make money. It makes the result of every failure, every comeback, every risk, and every stubborn moment that refused to quit.